It's movie time, and today's film was suggested to me from a subscriber. So if you have a movie that you want me to review, just let me know down below. So gather your kids for this one, because today we're watching Coraline.
Can I talk to him?
Yeah, be nice. He's autistic.
Oh. Nightmare, 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 nightmare!
Oh, nope. Never mind, not this movie. Probably not the best way for a divorced dad to spend his every other weekend with his kids. Coraline is a delightful little gem that's both a children's tale and a horror story, masquerading as a whimsical adventure. Based on Neil Gaiman's Novelia, this film manages to creep under your skin while offering a charming visual feast. And, fun fact, Neil Gaiman was originally typing in Caroline, but a little typo turned into Coraline, and once he saw the name, he knew he had to know what happened to her. First off, the visuals are stunning. I mean, it's like they took Tim Burton's Fever Dream and made it into a kid's movie. Nothing says family friendly like a world where everything is suspiciously perfect. Right until you realize it's all just a trap to get you to sew buttons into your eyes with needles so sharp you won't even feel a thing. Who knew that Happily Ever After came with a side of psychological horror? Our protagonist, Coraline Jones, is a little girl who's bored out of her mind. She moves into a quirky old house with her neglectful parents, who are too busy to pay her any mind. She does what most children do at her age: count all the windows and doors in her new house. She eventually gets bored of this and wanders outside, where she is introduced to our local neighborhood kid. And that's where we meet Wyborn, but his friends call him Wyby. We are told his name is Wyborn, like Why Be Born. Kinda like how my name is Meowthew, but my parents mostly call me Jesus Christ. Like they would say,
Jesus Christ, what are you doing? Or Jesus Christ, don't eat that.
So I did some research on the name Wyborn, and it comes from an Old English name called Wegborn, which is a combination of Weg meaning battle and Bjorn meaning warrior. In the end, YB proves to be a brave soul in the heart of battle, risking his life to save the crazy girl that just moved in. Eventually, Coraline's curiosity leads her to a mysterious door that looks too small for anyone to use. Thinking nothing of it, Coraline goes to bed, and that's when we go on a magic school bus adventure through the mystical butthole. On the other side, we find the other world, a twisted reflection of our own life, complete with another mother who has buttons for eyes. She's an absolute nightmare dressed as a daydream. At first glance, the other world appears to be a magical escape from the mundane reality of Coraline's life. It's colorful, whimsical, and full of delights, much like the initial allure of drugs for those seeking to escape. This world offers an enchanting high, pulling you in with its charm. Just as many discover with substance use, what begins as an escape quickly morphs into a trap. The other mother represents a seductive nature of addiction. She lures Caroline in with a promise of happiness and fulfillment, but those promises come with a significant cost. As Coraline spends more time in the deceptive paradise, things start to feel increasingly unsettling. The bright colors begin to fade, revealing a darker reality beneath. This mirrors the experience of addiction, where the initial high gives way to a sense of loss and confusion about one's identity. The other mother's control becomes apparent when Coraline realizes she's losing herself. It's a haunting reminder of how addiction can strip away your sense of self, leaving behind only a doll with buttons for eyes. Eventually, Coraline understands to escape the other world, she must confront her fears, a painful but necessary journey. At its heart, Coraline is about the desire for escape and the dangers of wishing for something better. The grass isn't always greener, as they say, but in this case, it's just a different shade of dread. Visually, this film is a feast. Over 130 sets were built across 52 different stages, spanning a whopping 183,000 square feet, roughly 4.2 acres of meticulously crafted worlds. This is the most stages ever developed for a stop-motion animated feature film at the time. The crew spent nearly 800 hours painting 25,000 pieces of popcorn, pink on the outside, red on the kernel, to stand in as blossoms for nearly 70 trees. Each frame drips with details, making you feel like you're wandering through a magical, yet slightly unsettling dream. It's like being invited to a fantastical tea party where the cake is made of nightmares. There were 24 different Caroline puppets used for making this film, each taking 10 people about 3 to 4 months to construct. Those with a keen eye might notice the blue-skinned neighbor upstairs, Mr. Babinski. This guy wore a Russian hero medal for service during the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. This might explain his skin complexion and his odd behavior. Next, we are introduced to the sisters. If the nightmare fuel of Other Mother didn't push the boundary of what's a kid's movie, the sisters really kick it over the edge. Most of the time they're on screen, they're shown basically naked, and not in a good way. This might be the only kids' movie that shows more cleavage than Clockwork Orange. The climax of the movie feels rushed, but it had to be with a storyline as entangled as Coraline. The problems that develop throughout the movie get solved almost immediately.
It's going to be super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Overall, Coraline balances whimsy horror, offering a fresh perspective on the classic coming of age narrative. It's a film that encourages you to appreciate the imperfections of your own life, even if it means facing a few fears along the way. And remember, next time a stranger offers you button eyed family, just say no. Until next time, later, nerds.